Hello, my name is Jamie and welcome back to the channel. Unlike any other channel that showcases Pokemon Go PvP content, my channel exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe.
So let's get into today's video. This is actually the second upload of the day. This once again was a set of battles I've had sitting around that I was not going to showcase. However, with this being another Go Rocket TM Frustration Away event, they're actually bringing back Shadow Grimer, and it can be shiny once again. So I'm going to give you all a reason to go and grind Kanto Shadow Grimer, because this thing is a monster in the Ultra League. I mean the Open Ultra League. We've seen it showcased previously on my channel and other channels in formats such as Premier Cup, Remix Cup and Premier Classic. However, what happens when you put Shadow Kanto Mark into Open Ultra League, where every single mon available can compete? Well, let me tell you, the thing still performs absolutely fantastically. We are going to pair it up with a Shadow Swampert lead and a Shadow Lapras in the back. We are technically ABA weak to grass, however Lapras can hang with grass types, and they're also not that common in the Open Ultra League. So we will be leading our Shadow Swampert for the duration of this video, and in game 1 we pick up a neutral lead against Empoleon. This is pretty neutral because we can one-shot with Earthquake. However, these Hydro Cannons and Waterfalls absolutely chunk us. You can see our HP is already really going down, and we haven't even taken a charge move. We're below half health, we get a bit of lag, and I'm not going to bait. I'm going to go straight for this Earthquake. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent correctly shields up an Earthquake, and at this stage I now look to catch the charge move, which will be the Hydro Cannon onto Lapras, where it is resisted. You can see it doesn't do a great deal of damage. We're still suffering some lag. You love to see it. The Empoleon is staying in. They're banking a lot of energy. They're actually just throwing, so perhaps they are weak to Lapras in the back, which could mean they've got a Giratina. A common line is Empoleon, Giratina and Togekiss, which obviously the back line would be super weak to Lapras. With this in mind, I do know that Kanto Mark will also be pretty good. Kanto Mark obviously destroys Charmers and is pretty good against Giratina. Although the poison jabs are resisted due to Giratina's ghost typing, we are able to hit for huge super effective damage with the Dark Pulse. So getting back into this matchup, we actually go down, we actually allow ourselves to go down, and the Empoleon has now got no shields left. I am frantically trying to poison jab down. They actually switch out into the Giratina, which is pretty crazy as we're so far ahead in energy. This Dark Pulse does huge damage. You can see it almost takes them out. As I believe there is a Togekiss in the back, as it is a really common team, I switch into Swampert, go for this Earthquake, which will take out the Giratina. And there's hardly any HP left in us to be farmed. Couple of charms takes us out. Now let's see if our Kanto Mark can close out this game. I correctly time my charge moves to not let any charms through. This Thunder Punch also hits for super effective damage, like you can see. And now we are going to have to try and poison jab down, which we do successfully. And we have the Thunder Punch locked and loaded to take out this 1 HP Empoleon. You can see there, Kanto Mark in game 1, putting in a lot of work. Get hunting that shiny Shadow Kanto Mark. So, moving on into game 2. Let's see if we have the same success here. We lead our Shadow Swampert into a Charmer. This Charmer is the Sylveon. It's pretty bulky, so you want to try and time your charge moves, throw after 7 and you shouldn't get a charm through. However, as we are lagging, we throw after 7 and we still receive a charm, which is pretty bad, so I decided to transfer it onto Lapras. Obviously Lapras is a lot more bulky. Once again, another charm comes through. You love to see it. We're both using 3 turn moves, so that's a whole 3 turns of energy. They are staying in. This could be yet another double charm team, so I am going to shield this up. It is the Moonblast, which would do big damage. They now actually switch out into a Swampert. Like we've seen previously, Swampert is not a great response to Lapras. They will have to hit us with an Earthquake to take us out, as a Hydro Cannon really won't be enough. I am going to call the bait here. If you're going to Earthquake me, you take me out. However, if you Hydro Cannon me, you're going to be very upset. It is the Hydro Cannon, so now we get to yet another serve. The opponent bait in there could cost them big. This allows our couple of HP Lapras to get to another charge move. Unfortunately, we do get Mud Shot down, but we have still got a shield. So we bring back in Swampert. I've got a tough decision to make. Do I want to shield this up? I've decided I am going to shield it up and attempt to mud shot down. Unfortunately, they are loaded full of energy. They're at their back-to-back move. So they must have been at 100 energy when they got the Lapras with the Hydro Cannon. However, they are now dry, so I aggressively Poison Sting down, and once again, it's a Giratina in the back. We time my charge move to not allow any free Shadow Claws. This Muk now is going to have to do a lot of work. Can Muk once again clean up? Once again, you are going to see the bulk of Kanto Muk. These Dragon Claws don't do that much damage. I'm expecting the opponent to try and catch at some stage, so I am bearing that in mind. Once again, Dragon Claw comes through. There is the attempted catch, or at least the attempted snipe. Either way, we Poison Jab down the Sylveon, and we have the Dark Pulse locked and loaded. G to the G. Kanto Muk once again cleaning up, actually sweeping that team, and it did take out the low HP Swampert. Moving on into the next battle. We see an Obstagoon lead. Once again, we get some real nice lag. We are now desynced. We're both over farming. Luckily for me, I do manage to get the extra mud shot in that we did lose. Night Slash comes through with the added counter damage. You can see that we are already quite low on HP. I'm at the back-to-back Hydro Cannons. Let's see what the opponent wants to do. The first one lands. We do actually have to shield this move up, as it would get us really, really low. I am now going to look to overfarm to the back-to-back. So now the opponent, if they shield, they're going to have to go on 2 shields. So let's see if the opponent has kept track of our energy. They do shield. We're at the back-to-back, so we're either going to grab both shields or we're going to win switch. We actually grab both shields, which is fine for us, as Kanto Muk is a really solid response to Obstagoon, as we do resist counter. They do throw their energy. They probably could have farmed us down. So now I'm going to bring in the Muk. They aggressively switch out into a Nidoqueen. So I'm going to bank a load of energy and switch out into Lapras. Let's see what they're going to do. If they go for a Poison Fang, it's not going to do too much. They actually go for the Earth Power, which I think is the correct play. It does bring us down to around half health. I am now going to fire off this super effective Surf. Shadow on Shadow. Surf actually manages to one-shot. Even though Surf isn't the best move, you can see with the Shadow bonus it is really, really strong. Obstagoon comes back in. They're unable to farm us down. So now it's all on, once again, Kanto Muk. Can Kanto Muk clean up the third straight game for us? I'm not going to shield this up, as it's only going to do around 20% of our HP. And in the back they've got an alolan Muk. So this is going to get dicey. We're really low on HP. And we are now going to try and clean up this game once again. We get a lovely bit of lag, which doesn't really help things. I am going to shield this up, hoping they don't acid spray me. They do acid spray. Now we are really in a tough spot. I am at the back-to-back Thunder Punch. However, with non-stab, I don't think this is going to be enough to KO. It's going to be really close. Once again, this really needs to KO. If this doesn't KO, we are going to get Poison Jab down. You can see that the Kanto Muk unfortunately isn't able to take that game. However, we was really close and a bit of lag did affect it. Moving on into the next battle. We've got Shadow Swampert into Melmetal. This is one of the best leads you are going to see with Swampert. They can only go for Superpower, most Superpower and Dip, like you can see here. So I am holding my energy. They now switch out into a Gyarados, so I bank a bucket load of energy and switch into Kanto Muk. You can see these Poison Jabs are far outweighing the damage output of Dragon Breath, and that's saying something because Dragon Breath is such an OP move. However, Gyarados isn't a dragon, so they're not getting stab, whereas we are getting same type attack bonus from our Poison Jab. We even tank the first charge move. The Gyarados is going to have to shield all of our Thunder Punches, as they are double super effective. I do respect the second Aqua Tail, as I do want to try and maintain switch advantage. This super effective Thunder Punch will be more than enough to KO from this range, which it does. The opponent doesn't want to give up their last shield. Let's see what they want to come back in with. The opponent waits out the switch timer. Back out comes Melmetal. I managed to get to this Thunder Punch. Looks like the opponent might be trying to aggressively Thunder Shock us down. Thunder Punch does do a nice bit of chip damage. The opponent gives up on the idea of Thunder Shocking us down, and they actually throw some energy. Kanto Muk once again putting in a lot of work. I switch into Swampert. They immediately switch out, but I have got so much loaded energy. I'm going to Hydro Cannon whatever it is. It is a Cresselia. So now I'm over farming as much as possible. I'm trying to count fast moves. I don't want to get hit with a Grass Knot and give up my last shield. However, These Hydro Cannons, we do now draw the shield, and I switch out into Lapras to try and catch the Grass Knot. Lapras doesn't really have a great matchup with Melmetal, and I'm pretty much just going to sack it at this stage. It looks like the opponent isn't even running Grass Knot, hence we was unable to catch it. They hit us with a Future Sight that does huge damage. These Surfs, once again, do quite a nice bit of chip damage with the Shadow bonus. At this stage, I can allow my Lapras to go down, and Swampert should be in a great position to clutch out this game. Lapras, though, survives. I did think we were going to get taken out. We get to a last-minute Surf, which is great. They switch out into Melmetal. I fire off this Hydro Cannon immediately. I have a shield, even if Melmetal was to win CMP. I do believe Swampert actually wins CMP, but either way, we win that game. Moving on into the next battle, we pick up a neutral lead against Poliwrath. We can hit them for neutral with Earthquake, and they can obviously hit us for neutral with pretty much everything. If they're running Dynamic Punch, that really hurts. Scald really hurts. However, Ice Punch, which is more of a bait move, doesn't do too much damage. The Poliwrath correctly shields the Earthquake, which is great for them. I've now got a tough decision to make. I let the first one go through, which is the Dynamic Punch, which does mean they can now Ice Punch us. So a bit of an unfortunate play there. They actually go again for the Dynamic Punch, so this is pretty good. I'm over farming massively, and I go for this Earthquake. Earthquake, if it lands, is going to do massive damage. For some reason, whatever they've got in the back really must not want to see Swampert, as they have double shielded this Poliwrath. They're going straight Dynamic Punch as well, so I imagine they could possibly be on Scald. I now come in with the Kanto Mark, as these Thunder Punches do hit for super effective. We get a great bit of lag. I'm unsure if the opponent got any free fast moves. This Thunder Punch, though, is going to hit for super effective. And unfortunately, we are now going to have to tank a move. So we are going to find out what their second move is. It is the Scald. You can see it does huge damage, but I do manage to commit to the Poison Jab down. Let's see what they've got in the back. Once again, they've got an alolan mark. This mark is actually on Snarl, which is a bit worse, as the Snarls do hit for neutral rather than the resisted Poison Jabs. I am looking to let them dump their energy before I switch out into Lapras. I am going to let the Kanto Mark go down. I'm hoping that Lapras, upper shield, can clean up whatever's in the back. The fact that they're on Snarl, I imagine means they haven't got Acid Spray, so I can correctly shield the Sludge Wave, which is great for us. And in the back, there is a Venusaur, so we are going to see, can Shadow Lapras with the super effective Ice Beam, the Legacy move, does it one-shot? It does one-shot, so Lapras here clutching out this game for us. The opponent sees the writing on the wall and they back out. GG's to that opponent. Moving on into the next battle. We lead our Shadow Swampert into Talonflame. This is pretty good, however we do have to be wary of the Brave Bird. They throw one Incinerate and switch out. They switch out into Cresselia, so once again, on the 6th Psycho Cut, I try and catch the Grass Knot. Unfortunately, the opponent doesn't throw, but they do throw after 8 Psycho Cuts. This could be a Future Sight, which it is, which is dreadful. So Kanto Mark is absolutely not going to appreciate this matchup. But you are going to see the bulk of Kanto Mark here. I'm not going to commit 2 shields. Future Sight, which is such a hard hitting move. We do survive and we do get to this Dark Pulse. Unfortunately, in this battle, we've essentially just sacked the Kanto Mark. We're even down a shield, so me trying to catch the Grass Knot was a bit of a misplay. However, we are so loaded on energy with Swampert, and they've just dumped theirs. We are going to have to deal with this Cresselia. But one Hydro Cannon takes them out, and in the back they've got a Greedent. Greedent once again is really problematic for our backline, as the Bullet Seeds do hit both of our water types for super effective. However, I once again switch out into Lapras to catch the charge move. Body Slam comes through, doesn't do too much. They now switch out into Talonflame. They do fire immediately. Are they going to go straight Brave Bird, or are they going to fire off the Flame Charge? They actually go straight Brave Bird. Lapras does survive, and we get to this Surf. We do draw a shield, which is great for us. The opponent now has to fire off 2 more Incinerates before they can get to another Brave Bird. Swampert comes in. I fire just before they get to their next charge move. And now we are in a bit of a tough spot. This Greedent is hitting us for super effective. We now really need to get rid of this thing. It's going to be whether the GOAT can clutch out this game. I overfarm as much as possible. I am faking the Earthquake, but I go straight Hydro Cannon. The opponent does shield. And now I'm hoping that this Earthquake KOs. Greedent is so bulky, however Swampert hits so hard. Earthquake comes through and we actually managed to clutch out that game. So we made a couple of misplays there, but you see there the power of Shadow Swampert. Moving on into this next battle. Once again we get the weak connection, you love to see it. I'm counting Dragon Breath, so I do try and catch the Dragon Claw onto our Kanto Muck, as obviously Kanto Muck is the softer counter to Giratina. We don't do it successfully, however the Giratina does throw its energy. They look like they're trying to catch the Dark Pulse onto the alolan Muck, however I don't throw my energy and I'm going to go straight for this Thunder Punch. So the Thunder Punch lands, it does around 33% health. We get to this second Thunder Punch before they've even thrown a move. We've now got the Muck below half health, and once again Kanto Muck's put in a lot of work. The opponent is going to have to throw a Dark Pulse to take us out, which they do. I now wait out my switch timer, and I bring in the Swampert. I fire one Mud Shot, and I go for this Hydro Cannon. I doubt the opponent is going to want to shield this up, so they let it go down. I'm now spamming out Lapras. You can see that our switch timers are misaligned, as the Giratina did stay in a little bit. However, the switch timer has popped up too, and now we're stuck in one of the worst matches in the whole of the Ultra League. I say this because we are hitting the Empoleon for double resisted with our Ice Shards. They are hitting us for resisted with Waterfall. Our Surf is resisted, Ice Beam double resisted, Hydro Cannon resisted, Drill Peck with no stab is the only thing that hits for neutral, so this is just a terrible matchup. These battles are sped up 1.6 times and it still takes forever. But even though we are hitting completely for resisted or double resisted, it is quite a neutral matchup. I decide to commit the shield here, as I do need this Lapras at some stage to try and take out this Giratina. I switch into Swampert. I am going to now have to tank this Drill Peck. Doesn't do too much damage. They switch out into Giratina, and at this stage I am going to go straight Hydro Cannon. I imagine the opponent isn't going to want to shield. They actually do shield the Hydro Cannon, and they actually dump their energy. Has the opponent give us a win con? I am going to have to try and do as much damage to this Giratina as possible. We go straight Ice Beam. Let's see if the opponent calls the bait. They correctly shield, and we're pretty much done for here. We managed to get to another Ice Beam. However, that Empoleon probably is going to be able to waterfall us down, which is really tragic. You can see one waterfall takes us out. GG's to the opponent. Moving on into this next battle. We pick up a lead against the Charmer. This is kind of neutral. However, the two things we've got in the back obviously fare a lot better against Clefable. The opponent shows really great gameplay IQ, as they know that Mudshot users like to throw after 7, so they do manage to catch the resisted Hydro Cannon onto Giratina. However, one good play deserves another. I regain my energy and I catch their move onto Snorlax. Even though Hydro Cannon is resisted, it does now put the Giratina in a sort of health range where Snorlax can win this matchup. Snorlax on Body Slam and Superpower does kind of struggle against Giratina because it's so bulky, so we do need to do a nice bit of chip damage. You can see that we are going to be able to tank this next move, and we are going to be able to get to one more Body Slam, which should be enough to maintain switch advantage. Body Slam is resisted, but at this HP should be enough to KO, which it is. Let's see if the opponent brings back out that Clefable. Maintaining switch is fantastic for us because I am going to want to get my Kanto Muck onto that Charmer. Clefable comes back out. We get to a last minute Body Slam. So Shadow Snorlax, who has been substituted in for Lapras, is putting in a lot of work. The Charmer is now below half health, and I now bring in the Kanto Muck. They switch out into an Obstagoon, so this is pretty much where we want to see it, as we do resist counter, and these Thunder Punches do hit for neutral. I now switch out into Swampert that has a load of loaded energy. I am now desperately trying to burn the last shield. You can see there we actually hit our recording software and miss a few bubbles. You love to see it. What a noob I am. However, they did shield it up, so it doesn't really matter. We actually get both their shields. We've got 2 shields of our own. I do have to start shielding something. However, as this is a Kanto Muck feature, I guess the best thing to do is save 2 shields for Muck. We are resisting the counters from Obstagoon, and we do actually resist the Charm as well. The opponent actually goes for a cross chop. Unfortunately for the opponent, we aren't alolan mark, so we don't resist Night Slash, and we actually resist Cross Chop, which is kind of the opposite. They don't shield that up. I am going to shield this next move. I imagine this will be the Night Slash. I don't want us to get too low, and we've got 2 shields. I need to shield something. Back out comes the Clefable. Once again, I am going to shield this up. It's the Moonblast, which is resisted, but like I said, you got to shield something. We Poison Jab it down, and the Thunder Punch would be enough to take out the Obstagoon, but they actually back out. GG's to that opponent. Moving on into this next battle, we pick up an absolutely dreadful lead against the Venusaur. We instantly swap out into Snorlax. It looks like the opponent is staying in. They actually switch out really late into Empoleon. And let me tell you, this is not a Shadow Snorlax counter. I've overfarmed considerably. I actually go for a bait. We correctly managed to get the bait, so now I am going to shield this move up, as I do want to maintain switch advantage, because I really don't want my Swampert on that Venusaur. I'm now at their back-to-back superpower. Even if the opponent shields this one up, I am going to be able to superpower them again. They do shield. I go for as much lick damage as possible before debuffing myself once again. This one stage debuff superpower still manages to take out the Empoleon. Back out comes Venusaur, and we get to a Body Slam. Shadow Snorlax putting in a lot of work. Body Slam does get it below half health, and now we can flip this opening matchup. We bring in Kanto Mark. Kanto Mark resists both Sludge Bomb and Frenzy Plant. You can see Frenzy Plant, which is such an OP move, doesn't actually do that much damage. They switch out into a Swampert of their own. And we are now looking to get rid of this thing, as Kanto Mark should be able to clean up from here. I shield up this Hydro Cannon. I'm going to overfarm just a touch. I am going to go straight Earthquake, as we would need 2 Hydro Cannons to take him out. 1 Earthquake is enough. This Venusaur now is going to dump its energy. This is obviously going to take out Swampert, but the Venusaur is going to have a really rough time of getting rid of that Kanto Mark in the back. Once again, we are going to be able to tank this Frenzy Plant. We are now getting quite low, but this resisted Thunder Punch is going to be enough to take this game. So you can see there we led Shadow Swampert into Venusaur, but we still managed to pick up the dub. So in this video, you did see 2 team comps with Kanto Mark, one with the Lapras, one with the Snorlax, and both of them did perform really well. So in this upcoming event, I recommend you go and hunt that shiny Shadow Grimer and power it up for Ultra League, as it is a monster. When Great League rolls back around, I am going to bring another Kanto Mark to the Great League for the first time on the channel. So we're now in the part of the season where it is the Master League, Premier Classic and Kanto Cup. Comment down below what battles you'd like to see. I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.